Give me one moment. Okay, I pressed the live button too quickly. I was washing my face to moisturize, and then I was like, oh my God. So, hold on. Where's the media at? So when I'm not on camera, I think I'm going to really keep my conversations to a minimum. Of course, I tell you guys, I'm either not dressed or I am dressed when I'm not fully dressed, or I'm just beat. And we know due to past allegations that I was on drugs, which is, like I said, we can always take a drug test at any given time, at any given moment, hair strand, blood strand, or urine. I just say, girl, I'm not going to get on camera if I'm not feeling fully rested and fully recharged. That's it. And of course, I'm gonna have to get on with clothes because they will, bang your shit if you don't get on with clothes. And I'm always, without clothes. And so, like I said, when I'm not on here, on actual camera, I'm gonna keep it very simple. Like try to make it like a 10, 15 minute little snap thing. Maybe even not even do a live, like just record it and then upload it. And then, of course, when I want to have a sit down talk to you guys about things seriously, get on camera. Because I feel like when you're having real conversation with people, it's important to see who and what they are. And so, of course, I titled this video Spending and Investing really quickly because, of course, there's a difference in this. And I got into this because, of course, I stand on what I stand on. I always say what I say. You invest with me, you don't spend, right? Spending is the act of just spending, giving money, and not really expecting anything in return. And it's really excessively, it's really, spending things that you sometimes even don't have. When people say you're spending, it's usually resources and financial things that you really don't have, financial resources that you really don't have, versus investing, right? Investing is, putting this in, having a goal to achieve results. And then even going into profiting, right? Profiting, all this go hands in hand. What you invested, you will get something back from that. And of course, it's, via interest, divine wealth, achieving your results, etc. And so those are things that I want to always put out there because, of course, people are under the assumption that a lot of spiritual people, and like I said, I'm going to talk about some stuff here, that a lot of spiritual people, hop on there. So they start doing this because of, it's a money thing. And of course, for some people it is. And I tell you guys this, unapologetically, and not really caring because I'm a grown person. And if that means that no one's going to like me after I sell this, like I said, I'm going to be okay. Hello. Okay. But I went to school for many things, going into certificates, going into like having formal trainings, going into events, and you get certified because you did this webinar for like 64 hours, etc. Going even to actual, school and actually getting, degrees and all that stuff. And even on the outside of that, like I said, school therapist, becoming a hypnotherapist, all this stuff, and now actually being licensed by the state of California, etc., etc. So all these things are just things that I have so that way I'm good, right? Things ever go down, I can fall back on things that I've learned, things that I've studied, things that I've grasped, right? And so for me, and even, prior to that, sex working, that's a multi-billion industry. And even though there's a lot of people in it, everyone still brings their own pizzazz, their own energy, their own persona, their own, and this is why I've never been a girl to subscribe to other people's styles and the way they spoke and the way they walked, the way they talk, and even the way they advertise their business. Because I think I did, quite well for myself for the, 8 years I was doing it. But either way, I learned a lot. And like I said, that was what it was for me. I did not jump into the spiritual stuff because this was another, for sure, I'm going to do this to get money. For sure, this is an easy way, a good way to get over on people and all sorts of good stuff. That's what other people have done. Other people do it. Other people have done it. Even going into the hints of the new ways of people that you see now, the new spiritual people, they all popped up right at COVID, right when the PPP loans start coming out. And so, of course, it makes sense why a lot of people, decided that spirituality is such a main thing. And of course, they want to kind of have like a nostalgic moment. And of course, like I said, I won't get into that. And so for me, and this was what even comes up periodically, people will send me emails and they will say, you should do a giveaway. And I think I received something like a couple of months ago, or maybe even a year or two ago. And someone I know said, that'd be good. You should do that as a giveaway for your spiritual people. And I was like, online or in person? And of course, I asked it like that because, we're just going to lay it out all on the table, right? And I think that's the common thing that's on the online platforms. I think a lot of people are used to people spending money with them because it goes both ways. Expending, expansion, right? And so these people are getting money from these clients, but they're not actually putting this money into something. They're not actually investing this money. And so go both ways. The client is giving them money because, of course, they got bills they got to pay. And, oh, my God, my water got to get shut off. So I'm trying to book 2 or 3 readers, which, of course, that's what you should do because this is your job. But I think that the goals are not realistic. I think there's no financial goal set up. And what is the end game when all this is said and done? When the new wave or, they decide to start, changing and tapering things out to where there's certain ways you have to go about doing online spiritual practices, right? Because, it's coming. And so either way, with me, and I said this because a lot of people, y'all, that are spiritual service providers have shut down their business. I think in the past 30 days, there's 2 people. One person is very, very popular on YouTube. Another person, I think they're kind of popular on TikTok, but they've shut down their businesses because allegedly they're not making enough money or they're not making money. They're claiming that people are not, taking them serious. And in my mind, I'm like, well, girl, all these free readings, all these, free giveaways you're doing, something that I learned, and I'm trying to really keep this under a certain time. Something that I learned is that when you keep feeding a cat, the cat's going to keep coming back. Another saying that I always think about is why buy the cow when you get the milk for free, right? And so in that sense, a lot of people know they're almost expecting you to do a giveaway. They're almost expecting you to give away something. Just, today we're doing a giveaway. Today I'm going to do a little extra, this and that. They're almost expecting that. And so they're going to come to you. It's going to give the illusion to the outside world that you got 50,000 followers. And I keep telling y'all this, right? And I keep saying this over and over again. I'm not a YouTube partner. I don't get a check from YouTube. All my money I get off YouTube is for the people that actually see my videos and actually send over money or they pay for services and products and all the good stuff. That's the only way I get paid from YouTube. There are people that have 50K followers plus that allegedly get a check from YouTube and they're struggling financially. Oh, come on in here. They're struggling financially. Me with my little bitty subscription, I don't even watch how many subscribers I have. My little amount of subscriptions, I'm good. I'm good in Southern California. I'm good in California. I'm good. Okay. And so I'm saying all that to say it's always about investing and not spending. Even on the other side, and going back into me and people saying, you should do a giveaway, or hey, you haven't done a giveaway, or we don't really see you do giveaways like other people. I'll say that stuff. And I'll say people, like I said, I'm about investing and not spending. There's even places and people that I love that I do not buy products from, but I do send over like $2 or $3 every now and then, whatever. If I'm like, hey, I don't need what they have. I don't, whatever. Let me just send over something. Even back in the day. And of course, we're not going to throw this in because I also feel like God is always blessing you when you do things anonymously. There's a YouTuber who makes things from scratch, and they need supplies and also the good stuff. And I used to go out after I would be, finished working, and I would go buy things at Walmart, go buy things at Ace Hardware and all stuff, and I would ship them these things. And they didn't ask for it. I didn't, I didn't say I'm going to do this because I want them to give me something for free. And I think they did give me a couple of things, say, hey, I want to give you something, but that's just me. I believe in investing and not spending. And so in that sense, on here, there's two people I can say that really fuck with me on YouTube. Two people, and we'll need to get into the names, but these are people that every so often they think about me, where they send me, some money. They send me a couple of thousands, or they send me a couple of hundreds, whatever. But this is money that I did not ask for. This is money that somehow, some way they feel like they want to give me. There's people that have reached out to me. There's people that have asked me things like, hey, you need to, or you should discuss this. And they don't send me shit. And even that video that I did a couple of months ago, where I was kind of like going into being irritated and frustrated because there's people that I fucked with for a very long time. And I had to step back and think about, like, how many events have they joined? Like, how much have they invested in this energy? How much have they invested into Madam Merkaba? And it just seemed like they were always like, me, can I have, ooh. And I always say, like, that's why I have to keep business from professional. I have met, one or two people from here, and we've become, cool, and it's not a professional thing, it's more of a private thing. But even then, they still send stuff randomly. Hey, I thought about you. Here's this. What's your address? I'm gonna mail something to you. But like I said, overall, everyone else, they only deal with me, or they only send over money when they're getting their service from me, and that's fine because I'm here to work. I don't expect free shit. But like I said, in the back of my mind, I'm like, the ones who are just send over, and they're not expecting anything in return, those are the ones that I'm gonna bend over backwards for. Those are the ones that are gonna have my phone number. Those are the ones that we're gonna, if they're bored, they can call me and I'll set aside my time and speak to them because they invested in Madam Merkaba. If that's not you, then baby, no, it's only going to be business. I'm only going to, discuss or have a conversation with you when there's money involved, and that's just what it is. I'm here to offer service. And that's what it comes down to. And like I said, there's people that sent over even $1. There's people that sent over $2, $3. And of course, these things are, in my opinion, still valuable. Because of course they're like, hey, I don't need your service, but I'm thinking about you, and here's a little something for you. And so, like I said, for me, that goes a long way. To me, that's respect. For me, that's, bitch, like, I fuck with you. I mean, I have what you're asking for. I may not be able to give you what you need, but I have something for you. And like I said, that counts. A penny add up, $2 add up, all that. And so for me, that's why I'm always standing on, I'm about investing and not spending. Another thing, another reason why I don't be that active. And like I said, I guess it's all the way, all across platforms type of thing, especially on YouTube, where people are expecting, but they're not giving. And everyone knows in 2026, and even 2020, that, girl, everybody had bills to pay. Everybody had things to do. And so the idea that I'm going to set aside 2 or 3 hours of my time and do things, first of all, that people who are actually supporting ain't really wanting to see. But they're not asking for it. So it's like, no, baby, you want to see things that I'm not talking about, I'm not, touching on and expanding on, then that's when it's like, hey, here's a little offering for you. Here's a little donation. But like I said, baby, I don't care for it. What they say, Tips are not expected; they are appreciated. And like I said, that's why I do my own thing. I come on when I want to come on, and I keep it pushing. If somebody who actually supports, say, "Hey, I want you to do this, do that," those are usually the ones in the back end that I am, like they doing things for, sending over messages, doing little customized videos for, and I send it to them directly. And that's just where it's at. And so, like I said, it's always about investing and not spending. And even like I said, going into that, online, like I said, there's a lot of people that you don't see online anymore because of, they're here and they feel like they're just here wasting their time. And of course, like I said, I feel like you do have to like volunteer, and that's how you get people. You're going to have to like connect with people, volunteer, and have discussions about things. But of course, this is you coming out and say, "Hey, I want to talk about piggy stew, this and that." But when you're doing things that people are expecting you to do, and now you're changing your narrative, or you're changing even who you are, like what you would normally not talk about, that's when it's like, baby, I'm not doing that just to do that, baby. I'm not, and I even think that too, that a lot of people like to see drama online. They don't care about the real education. Online people, they care about drama. They care about negativity. I was also sitting there thinking about that, right before, and I know during the pandemic, a lot of people's lives got really fucked up. And they changed, right? Things happened. They, kept their distance or whatever. They lost family members. They lost houses, whatever. They lost incomes and all that. But like I said, I used to sit back and I was thinking to myself, like, that is so crazy. When I was on YouTube, and I used to like go back and forth with people, right? And I would like get into it with people because people would like say something out their mouth with me. And I keep telling y'all this too, by the way. The stars do not lie. I had to become reacquainted with myself over the past 30 days. I had to actually tap into my natal chart and reassess what's in my chart, what's in my placements. And I am who I am. And like I said, it is what it is. Being myself, being genuinely myself is what's going to attract authentic, genuine people to me. And so either way, getting back into that, because I was going to go into a little side thing that I would have probably been here for another hour. People, like I said, I was noticed that people, they were always wanting to be around when this drama was going on, girl. There was even somebody who would like call me every day at a certain time in the morning. Right? Like trying to connect with me and sister. And I think what really made me started to realize something, I was like, damn, they always comment about drama and those people and they're talking about you. And it's not like I gave a fuck because, bitch, you talk about me online, girl, you're not going to do it to my motherfucking face. And see, I think that'd be different to what people got to understand. Baby, I'm a work in progress, okay? If you did a background check on people, my motherfucking family, girl, they've served jail time. They served prison time and they enjoyed it. And they did not go to jail. They joined the military. They fought in battles. They're veterans, okay? And they're still motherfucking crazy outside of that. And so for me, I'm like, honey, I had to go through therapy for that. I did not want to be like my family. The main reason for me signing up for therapy sessions and psychologists and all this other good stuff, it wasn't because I was trans and I felt different, because I never thought myself as anything different from who I am. Okay, the outside world was trying to convince me that I was something that I wasn't, but baby, I always knew who the hell I was since I was in the womb. Okay, let's talk about it. And my mother can vouch for that. So I didn't get it because I'm like, oh, girl, I feel so weird. I feel so torn. It's more so, baby, I didn't want to be temperamental. I didn't want to be in an area or a place where people make me feel offended and I have to defend myself. And now I'm fighting them, putting my hands on them. Because like I said, my family, they're fighters and that's just what it is. And of course it takes a lot out of me to become a fighter. I don't just go around fighting people. You have to like keep poking. At that point I black out and I knock you out. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, a boy, girl, black, white, a kid. Bitch, you put your hands on me, I feel, attacked, bitch, you're out of here. But of course I got therapy for that. And of course, that's something that I've managed. So like I said, the online stuff, I don't care about that. People coming for me and read me down. I don't care. It never stopped people from liking me. The few people that did, read me down and talk shit about me, there was people that were sending me money and shit just because I am who I am and I look the way I look. Lisp and all, gap tooth and all. And so like I said, that never offended me. What irritated me the most is when people wanted you to be affected by that. when people wanted you to feel some type of way about that. And so I'm looking at these people like, girl, are you a part of these people? Because you on my phone telling about what they saying like I give a fuck. If I wanted to, if I cared about it, I would go look them up. If I cared about it, I would find them directly and I would send them messages like I've done. Some of them, they had numbers available. I called their number to discuss. And that's when I realized that it's just for the YouTube. These people didn't care to have discussions. All these people, all those buckwheats and raisinets and all these other people that were coming and reading and trying this and trying that, they all had the opportunity to have a one-on-one conversation. They could have recorded it, but they didn't, and they did not answer. I even sent over a text message and say, if you really are about this as a grown person, you really want to go toe to toe, answer that phone. And they don't want to do that because, of course, it was for YouTube clicks and baits. Right. And so, like I said, I was looking at the people who are so, so-called close to me, and they were kind of fueling it on. The same ones that were trying to talk to me about it were over there egging that shit on. And that's when I put two and two together. I said, baby, I got to fall back. Because, baby, if you're supporting me, you're supporting me. And supporting me is not just, 10 years ago you did something. It is a continuous thing. These doors are open. I'm on here to elevate, to share, to inspire, to teach, and kind of like, okay, well, bitch, you're here to offer a business, but I don't need that business, so I feel like I don't have to support it. And that even goes on to a sideline, segueing into something, and I'm gonna be, done, or just on this right now. There was a platform that I was on, and the platform that I was on, it was a little messy. Fuck it, Bigo. I was on Bigo. Like 2024, like December 2023 and 2024. And I would go there and I would like do my thing and I'll be on there and I would do, my work and stuff. And I'll be on here chat with these people. And it was cool for like the first like 5 or 6 months. But then people started coming in who I didn't know them, but they knew me. And I was like, well, that's weird because I don't know who you are. And they're like, I know you. And I even told you that some of these people were like internet, you could call them moguls, like they were established people. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And so either way, things went on. And of course, I would cam up when I wanted to cam up, y'all, because, I'm used to getting paid to cam up. Hello. If I'm not paid to cam up, I'm not camming up. I'm very big on energy. And that's just it for me. And so I would not cam up, but the guys would still come in and they'll be like, damn, you looking good and cam up. So I would cam up and all this stuff. And then so the people that were there, they were like trying to just do fucked up ass shit. So we ended up getting into it, y'all, long story short. And it became a real nasty fallout to where like girls were like taking the stuff off of YouTube that these basic ass witch crew had put together and was trying to say that this bitch name is Terrence and this and that and blue. And here's the information, right? And all this shit's for white pages shit, y'all. And I tell y'all, white pages is not accurate. Okay. They blend shit together and they say this is who and this is that. And it's not accurate, baby. When somebody could come up and show you their social security card, or somebody could come up and show you their FBI clearance paper, like, girl, even hell, showing their name, court order name change that took place in 2006. Like, girl, these are actual court documentations. So either way, one of the girls who feels so threatened by me, girl, I don't even talk about this bitch. This bitch still is talking about me. She started like bringing up what these people talked about. So that's what made me reach out to like pissed off consumers and stuff and say, you guys need to validate this stuff because this stuff is not accurate. You know what I mean? If people can post a review, like they need to show proof that they actually made purchases because anybody can make a review about anybody. And then of course, one of the companies tried to get a little smack with me. I think his name is Ed, and was like, well, you need to have better business practices shit. So I was like, oh, so you a motherfucking troll. So that's okay. So I let it go. Anyway, so a guy who was a sideline of this group, because something about insecure as women or insecure as feminine energy, because these were not cisgender women, these are trans women. Something about women or the feminine energy, because I know this works in females, transgenders, and feminine gay guys, is that they try to set the tone for other people. So when it comes down to you being a feminine factor and you have a quality or qualities about you that men love, And you don't have to be so obnoxious about it. You can just be quiet, docile, and cute, and you're gonna get it. You can be quiet. You don't gotta show yourself, and people are gonna say something about your energy I like. And that's in my chart. Bitch, hello. And so they would have to try to like do a smearing campaign. So she's into this type of guy. Let's get him. And so literally every guy that was trying to connect with me, they were in these DMs, like altering pictures to make it seem like I had like 3 chins, altering these pictures to make it seem like I had acne on my face, y'all. And y'all, I've never been an acne prone person. I've had breakouts every now and then, irritation because I've sensitive skin, but I've never had acne. Okay, so I have to show like pictures when I was even in fucking high school, because baby, that's when I started transitioning, bitch. I graduated technically in 11th grade. Technically in the 11th grade. And baby, I moved out of my mom's house when I was in 11th grade, baby. Hello. So let's talk about it. And so I have pictures of me, baby, in high school as a female. Okay, and I was like, baby, there's no acne there. Bitch, I had on a lot of makeup. Bitch, zoom in, and there was no filter shit back then. Zoom into that picture. Is there any acne there? Okay. And so they did this smearing campaign on me. And one of these smearing campaigns, I guess the guy is gay, but he wasn't telling people he was gay. And so I feel like this is a long story, so we're not going to get into it. But he's not. He's like, I guess, a masculine gay guy. He's not a straight guy. And so they were like trying to smear with him. And then so he would see me in other people's rooms, you know, being the female that I am. And he'll say, oh, and you know, this bitch right here, that's a tranny and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bitch, what the fuck? How does he know that? Blah, blah, blah. So bitch, we get into it. And then I guess the girl who gave him my shit had a falling out with him. And so what ended up happening was he ended up exposing her. And when he exposed her, he was like, I want to reset with you. I apologize. And so we kind of worked something out. And I tell y'all this, when you show me your true colors, I have forgave you, but I'm still looking at you sideways. And that goes even in real life friends, that goes whatever, business situations. If you lied to me, if you manipulated me in any way, shape or form, because I'm very sensitive about that. I'm lunar Aries, and anybody knows anything about lunar Aries people, you do your research. We are words. We don't care about the words. We care about the intentions behind the words. So that means everything to us. So when you say something that I put my trust in and I found out that you lied to me, you kind of, you know, betrayed my trust, and you got to earn that back. And a lot of times that doesn't happen. And so now you notice that there's a fallout. Now you notice I'm keeping my distance a little more, and it's nothing personal. It's just that I talk with people. I don't talk to them. Can we talk about it? I don't talk to people. I talk with people. And so I'm listening to the emotions. I'm feeling the emotions that are behind what's being said. And then, bitch, when I found out, like, so you lied, I'm like, wait a minute. So you made it seem like you got your motherfucking ass beat. I'm sitting here getting emotionally involved, even though I'm feeling like something ain't sounding right anyway, something ain't feeling right. And I'm like, well, maybe it's me, so let me step back. And then coming to find out you lied to me. Oh, bitch, yeah, our friendship, our business relationship is not the same. It definitely changes. It has to change, baby, because I need to let you know that, baby, you're not going to take advantage of me. You're not going to play in my motherfucking face, okay? And so either way, we did a reset. Everything was cool. I was like, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch for 30 days. And I did. This was last December. Everything was cool. It was kind of dry. We talked about Pokemon, and it kind of inspired me to get back into my anime stuff. And I was like, okay, you know, whoa. And then all of a sudden, you guys, we had a falling out. And we had a falling out because he was letting people who used to support him, who no longer support him, come in and like kind of like read. Mind you, these people that was reading me down were friends with the people I had a falling out with. So they would send them in there to fight with me. And that's when I started saying, bitch, I'm not fighting with them. So this is like May of last year where I was like, girl, I'm not going to be fighting with these broke ass, fucking basic ass people that ain't got shit to lose, crackheads and jailbirds. I'm not doing that. And so either way, that's when people started saying friends and not. Like, you need to stop supporting him. You need to stop giving him this and giving him that. And I have to clarify to these people, I never started giving to this man because I wanted him sexually, because I would never shake my purse or somebody for a man that I'm into sexually, because a man is a provider. Okay. I'm used to being spoiled. I consider myself a goddess. You're going to respect me and you're going to gift me. That's how I look at myself. I will never gift anybody or anything just because I want to fuck. It's going to be the other way around. I want to fuck you, bitch. You're going to be giving shit to me. Hello. Respectfully and humbly. I gifted because this was somebody who allegedly was a criminal, who allegedly was waiting to get off probation so he could get his life together. Allegedly, he was trying to better himself. So I'm about that. Hey, girl, you're trying to have a new leaf. You're a jailbird. You went to jail. You served your time. Baby, you're trying to have a good leaf. Baby, let's do it. Use this money, invest your money into a better life, whatever. Let's do it. That's what I'm about. When I start seeing that shit was starting to change, and of course, that habits is everything, and that'd be another thing too. Would I be irritating people trying to tell you how to like spend your money or how to break your habit? It takes time to break a habit, and it takes work to break a habit. This is where self-discipline coming at. It takes work to break a habit. So just as well as you think it's easy for somebody to, hey, you're used to supporting this person regardless of what it is, and they clearly don't respect you or your support, stop gifting them, stop giving to them. It can't just happen like that. And they'd be the same ones that be doing shit like that respectfully, where I'm like, well, if it's that simple, stop smoking. If it's that simple, stop drinking. If it's that simple, stop being a sex addict. If it's that simple, we know that a habit, it takes time to break a habit, especially if it's something you've been doing for a while. Okay, and by the way, the habit has been broken, by the way. But I'm just saying, so it's like, yeah, I gifted because I thought this money was going into a better place. And of course it did not. And so I stopped. And for me, and it goes back into what I was speaking about, I was only gifting really, honestly, truly, what made me start gifting was I was sitting around somebody who offers services. These were services I was not interested in because maybe, he was selling, dick pics on the back. I don't know. Maybe he was using his money to go get high. Like, I don't get high. So I couldn't be gifting because we have things in common, right? I was gifted because I'm sitting around this person, whether it's for an hour, 2 hours, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And I'm like, what I look like? I think it's disrespectful for me to sit here and say I fuck with this person because we didn't have real beef, but we did. He was still I was still distanced from him. But what I look like sitting around his workplace and not supporting him, like that's what bummy ass people do. In my mindset, right? In my mind, that's what bummy ass people do. They just sit around businesses and bosses and expect things for free and not want to give anything they don't want to put anything into the cookie box. So that's where I was at. I was like, oh, so I'm sitting around, I'm going to be gifting. And like I said, a lot of people who has that mindset, girl, yeah, you might see that as like, what? Yeah, you can sit around people who offer services and business and don't support them, because that's your mindset and that's your business. But for me, I do own businesses. For me, I am about being a boss. For me, I am about leveling up and better myself legally and honestly. And so for me, like I said, I wouldn't expect somebody to sit around me for free and get all these spiritual advices from me and ask these spiritual questions. But baby, when I look at the contribution list or any type of money being sent over, it's only been when they're really wanting their service. Like, I really want you to bend over backwards for me, that type of thing. It's like, oh girl, you're a supporter, but you're not a contributor. Bitch, you're a supporter, especially if it's not, because there's a monthly goal, there's a monthly quota, as they would say. Baby, if you're not contributing to that monthly quota, thank you for your past support, but it needs to be a weekly or monthly contribution. And like I said, that's why I was gifting to him. But for some reason, people who had this different mindset, and that's all I know, it's just a mindset, they thought, well, I could sit around people and not have to give nothing. Well, that's you. Especially if they are a host, especially if they are providing content. Now, if people are on here for free, because some people have told people that they're on here to offer services, but yet they will sit on a phone call with you for hours and hours just to be on a phone call with you. And I tell people that's not the type of person I am. I will not. Girl, I love people, but I don't love people like that. It becomes mentally, emotionally, and physically draining dealing with people, especially if they're criers or they complain about stuff. And the difference between a crier and a complainer versus somebody who's a doer is you're going to complain about what you got going on, and then you're going to get hey, I'm going to better myself. Criers and complainers, they just want to cry and complain about their life. My life is so fucked up. My mom, my life, my this and that. And they don't do anything about it. And that's for the birds, bitch. Okay, we're in 2026, bitch. If you're that person, Madam Merkaba is not here for you. I cannot do nothing for you, babe. Okay, I'm not a fan of just listening to people cry about their life being fucked up. Let's do something about it. I'm about getting it started, a go-getter. Like I said, Gemini solar, Pisces ascendant, and Aries lunar. Get into that. That's what I'm about. Okay. I'm about getting it done. Okay. Giving yourself time to heal. And, there's a time to cry, a time to laugh, a time to sow, a time to harvest. Give yourself that time. But on the other side of that, I'm about, okay, now what are we going to do? What is the plan? What is the end game? Like I said, I cannot hear, oh my God, this is so sad. Oh my God, okay, so what are we going to do about it, babe? What are we going to do about it? Okay. If you're at a job and the owner don't like you, if you need to stay there because you're getting paid a good amount of money, then bitch, you need to think of ways that's gonna, allow you to be there and have a peace of mind. Maybe keep your distance from your boss or whatever. Keep it pushing. Places, hey, I pay the cheapest rent because I've been living here for 10 years and I really don't want to have to relocate because it's convenient for me and my school and my daughters and my children. They can go to school, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, well, you have a neighbor, just keep your distance. And bitch, if the neighbor don't, bitch, that's when you get in, when we do some spiritual work on getting the bitch up out of there. That's it. But this whole idea that you have disposable or at your disposal spiritual stuff and physical stuff and you're not utilizing it, but you rather complain about it. Like I said, girl, nothing comes to victim role players, but more victimizing roles. And that's it. And so that's where I'm at with that, honey. That's my little highlight and tea for that. So the next person I want to send me a little message and be like, can you offer that? And like I said, I'm very grateful for the love and the support I have received in the past. I'm still grateful for those who still, do it. There's people that paid for services, like I said, because that's what I'm here for, offer services. So I don't expect shit for free. I don't expect gifts and I don't expect tips. I don't expect none of that. There's people that have paid for services and, we went over. Of course, I didn't have to tell them, hey, we're 30 minutes over. I got to go. And they'll say, hey, here's an extra little whatever. Like I said, that's preaching for me because that means you fuck with me. There's people that, like I say, just send over. Out the blue, I get cash apps for $100, $300, $1,000, $2,000, whatever. And I'm like, what? Okay, they fuck with me because they like, bitch, I want to see this bitch elevating whatever. And that's that. And I always tell people, girl, my money don't go on drugs. They don't go on alcohol. I'm not saying that means anything. I don't waste my money. I buy things that I need. I put things into what I need. And also people that I care about. They might need a little something. And I'm like, hey, I got an extra this or extra that for you. And so like I said, it's always about spending or investing and not spending. And that's pretty much it, honey. And let me see, is there anybody? Nope. Okay, it's not. Okay. What I said, honey, good chat with you. Oh, girl. Oh, this motivated me to really be like, bitch, let me get back into my little videos. Y'all, somebody was asking me this. And I believe one of my sisters asked this too, like, damn, you always going live. And of course she said in a joking way, like, baby, you always going live. And we don't, and yeah, you been going live and I be missing those lives. I want to get into, putting videos and that's it versus lives. I started going live because I felt like the videos, I will post videos, people would like ask questions, I would get emails, and I feel like the lives were a chance for me to answer these questions, openly or broadly, like, broadcast. And then people, they would say, oh, okay. And I also feel like too, coming live, like people would be bored at work. They need someone to talk to, or maybe they're bored at home. They're like, hey, I want to talk. Let me come to this live and let me have a chit chat with, Madam or a Mystic or, whatever name you want to call. And so I'm like, okay. So that's how I started doing it. So now for the past few lives, I haven't been seeing about in here, and shout out to y'all. I know y'all be watching. How you doing? But I'm like, okay, this has pushed me into the area that I said I was going to do. Start doing videos and save the lives for like, I need to, if I need to come out and do a live, I will do a live. And so that's what I'm going to be doing, honey. Moving forward, girl. We'll be doing little tiny video snippets, whatever we got to talk about, baby. You need to reach out to me. You can send an email over or you comment into the video and then, baby, we'll get it going. Coming into the lives, like I said, I would do something to where, okay, I have to come on live. There's something I need to really get out there. And that's that. But yeah, honey, I got to go. Love and light, love and truth. And, talk to y'all later. Bye.